The Pittsburgh Steelers were ranked 30th out of 32 teams in the run game. Something needs to change. G'day, Steel Nation. Welcome back to another episode of the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. My name's Mark. I'm your host, and today we are talking about the running back position. Or you could just really say Najee Harris, his position. I wanted to take you guys on a bit of a running back, wild ride and try and find out what is happening with the Pittsburgh Steelers and their running game. Yes, we all know that the offense was pretty bad last year. Even to a certain extent with Big Ben under center, the defense kind of knew what was happening with us. Big Ben was a bit slower. He didn't have the O-line in front of him, but we really couldn't work the offensive line further than I think it was 90 yards per game, and we were 30th in the rush game in total in 2021. Now, me being a massive Steelers fan, that is just not cricket. That doesn't normally happen, right? Even with the days when we had James Conner or Rashid Mendenhall or Le'Veon Bell or the Bus, we have always been a run-first team and a running team and a defensive team. So last year, and I think even the year before, we're pretty low, like not maybe near 30 or 31 or something like that. But we are definitely under the hammer right now, saying being 30th in the league in 2021 for rushing is just not. It just doesn't. Yeah, something is up, right? And that's why the Steelers went out last year and got Najee Harris, for the first round pick, and he was a running back, and he's doing tremendous things. However, I do want to talk about today the second running back position, or the third, right? And I'm going to go through the whole list of players. Some players have not even played for the Steelers or haven't taken many snaps in like 2 years. Some players have promised to do things with the Steelers, like Benny Snell football, and done nothing. So I think what the best course of action would be to start with Najee Harris first, go over his short career, his rookie year, and then go down the list and start to the players and bring them up and say, will this guy be a Steeler in 2022, or what can he even do for us? How can we change this running game, and how can we get more impressionable at the second running back position and third than just relying on Najee Harris, right? So firstly, let's bring up Najee Harris. Okay, so this is for his career, but we all know he was, he's only got 1 year under his belt as a rookie. So he has 307 attempts rushing, 1,200 yards, first downs 62, touchdowns 7. But however, and the reason why I'm making this video is Najee Harris's snap percentage is 84%, right? Think about that. Najee Harris' snap percentage is 84% in 2021. So 16% went to the other running backs, who I'll talk about, right? But in my opinion, going into 2022, that 84% needs to come down to at least 75%, or maybe even lower, 70%. You need that second running back. You need that third down running back as well. Najee Harris can't do it all. I don't know what you guys think, but in my view, he just can't do it all. Like he can, like his presence on the field, he's a workhorse. He's one of my most favorite players I've ever seen play the game so far. The way that he, pushes off defenders, runs over them, his legs never stop, churning away, and he wants to get every first down, every touchdown he can, and he's very salty, even during the Raven game when they were up and they were winning, the Steelers, but he didn't have a very good game, and he still felt like, oh man, I could have played better. So Najee Harris is our running back number one for the future, and I hope we sign him up to a big deal after his 4 or 5 year rookie deal. I hope we sign him up again, and I can't wait to see what he can do in 2022. However, there is that big, mate, like honestly, 84% is quite high for a running back, even in his rookie year, to take all those carries, and that includes receptions as well, right? If we go into his receptions, under his career, his first year, 74 receptions, 467 yards, first downs 22, and touchdowns 3. So overall, in his rookie year, he had over 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he had the 84% snap count, right? So I wanted to bring this back to our second running back, right? And we can name them just as first off: Benny Snell, Kalen Ballage, Antwaun Mack, Trey Edmunds, he's in there, right? Derrick Watt. Those are the guys on our roster right now. But let's start with Benny Snell Jr. Benny Snell football. As promised, but under-delivered. It has not happened over his career. But for him, we're going to focus on 2021, what happened last year. Okay. Benny Snell Jr. attempts 36, rush yards 98, first downs 3, and a total percent while I was on the field was 9%. And that's horrible. For a second running back for Benny Snell football to have only 36 attempts, right? Under 100 yards and 3 first downs, I cannot classify him as our second RB in the group, because it's all falling onto Najee Harris, right? Now, he has said in countless interviews and over the last few years, it's Benny Snell football. His goal line, he's going to run over someone, and we just haven't seen it. The Benny Snell that we have seen as Steelers fans is him running into a brick wall because the O-line can't get any push. And as he gets there, he gets 2, 3, maybe 4 yards. Now, however, on the other side of the coin, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, because maybe the offense isn't built around him, or maybe he isn't getting that chance and he needs to warm up, right? But still, getting 36 attempts over 1 year and under 100 yards, what are you really doing? What are you really changing for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't think you're really doing that much. So we need to see you have a big year in 2022, or someone else is going to take your job. That's pretty much it, right? Somebody else will take your job. Let's move on to Kalen Ballage. Right? In 2021, Kalen Ballage had 12 attempts, 36 yards rushing, which is yards, right? And 2 first downs, and snap percentage 6%. So that yet again is pretty low. He had 12 attempts, only 12 attempts while he was on the field, right? And took 6% of the snaps. And that could include special teams, that can include, kickoffs and stuff like that. But Kalen Ballage was another guy we got from the Chargers last year, and I had high hopes that he could be running back number 2 or 3. And it really didn't pan out that way. It just has not panned out that way at all. Ballage has 36 yards. That's it. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried in this RB room, because do we bring in someone else from the another free agent, a veteran player? Do we head towards a draft at pick 52 and go running back? I'm starting to lean towards yes, because I just don't know if Benny Snell and Ballage can cut it to be the RB2, and we need Najee Harris to drop those snaps from 84% to about 75 to 70%. Our last 3 players comes into some really interesting territory, right? Anthony McFarland, Terrell. No, my bad, not Terrell. I've even got it listed here as Terrell, but it's Trey Edmunds, and Derrick Watt. These 3 players have not played too much at the running back position, right? For instance, I want to bring up our mate, Antwaun Mack, right? His career, I couldn't even do last year because I think he was out for injury most of the year, and he only played, I think, in 2 games or 3 games. But in Antwaun Mack's career, he has 36 attempts, 116 yards, and 4 first downs, and no touchdowns. He's 108 snaps in total. For the Steelers, right? So 108 snaps for Antwaun Mack in his 2 or 3 year career. He's a 4th rounder. Similar kind of thing. When does it come to the point where you are promising something that you're the next big, you're wearing Le'Veon Bell's number, you may be the next big thing, you're meant to be super fast, super quick on your feet, nothing happens. Nothing's happening with this running back either. So I understand now why the Steelers went out to get Harris, because things are just not happening with Anthony McFarland either. Yes, his injuries. Yes, there's all these other things. Their line sucks. I get that. At some certain point, though, if you are running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you need to do better. You need to look back at the old days like Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier, watch a bit of tape, get amped up, and start to play with passion while wearing the black and gold. That's what you need to do. And it is not happening with Antwaun Mack, and it's also not happening with some of the other running backs here. Like I had to bring up Trey Edmunds too. Now he has been in the system, I think, about 4 or 5 years, right? And he's Terrell Edmunds' brother over his career. And I'm not saying he's going to be running back number 1, 2, or 3, or even 4. He's more of a special teams guy, but I had to bring him up. So 31 attempts, 140 yards, 3 first downs, and 1 touchdown. Very similar to Antwaun Mack, right? Where he has 113 snaps on this offense, but nothing else is really doing, right? You have 2 players there, Antwaun Mack, who he's just injury prone all the time. Every time he steps on the field, Anthony McFarland is injury prone or gets hurt or whatever. And every time you see him run the football, very similar to Benny Snell, you just can't break that line. Now, with the additions of Mason Cole and James Daniels and signing Chooks there on the right tackle and getting Dotson back and more healthy and those guys healthy again, maybe, just maybe, that these second running backs will have a stronger presence in the offense than they did in 2021. Because Najee Harris did the bulk of the workload, and he can't do that for his 5-year rookie deal. If that happens, we're in some serious trouble. Also, bringing in Mitchell Trubisky is going to help out too with the play action and getting the running backs involved, because we all know Big Ben was stationary back there and couldn't do much. So I am interesting to see what's going to happen with this offense and with these running backs, because I even have to bring up Derrick Watt too, right? He's our fullback, but we just don't use him, right? Over his career, he was more used in LA as that like scat back when he broke out of the pocket, and they found him he's had 13 receptions, 167 yards, 5 first downs, and 1 TD, and total snaps 690. But so far in the Matt Canada offense, the Steelers just don't use Derrick Watt how they're meant to. I think I saw Derrick Watt run the ball one time last year. I'm pretty sure he ran the football. So what do you guys think? Are you guys happy with Benny Snell, Kalen Ballage, Anthony McFarland, Trey Edmunds, Derrick Watt? Right, Derrick Watt will be special team player. He'll also be the fullback, hopefully, in different sets this year with Najee Harris in a better O-line. But I just find it very interesting that I think we have to address this situation. I think if we go through free agency or maybe the draft, and like I said, guys, you guys know by now, I am not a draft guy. I have no idea about these players. I turn on the TV and go, wow, we drafted that dude. That's cool. Let's see what happens. But there's also some free agents out there that I wouldn't mind if they picked up. What about Philip Lindsay? He could be a second, running back and also compete with Benny Snell and say, mate, Benny Snell football, that's too old. Lindsay has been quite successful in the NFL. Yes, he didn't play very well last year, and he was a little bit injured and didn't. I think it was with the Texans, and it just didn't work out. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. With the Dolphins, right? But if Lindsay could do something for us, he's a free agent, right? Who else have we got? I'm just reading off the list here. There's another player that I thought that might come to us. Possibility. The ex-Bengal, Giovanni Bernard. He could be. He's from the Buccaneers now, but he could be a Steeler. I just think this Steelers offense needs that number 2 to complement Najee Harris being the number 1. Whoever you bring in, I've always been a big fan as well. Wayne Goldman. He used to be a Giant. Now he's a Viking, and he's a cheap price and unrestricted free agent. So maybe they could bring him in as number 2. Because you need that guy. You need someone who can take away the snap count, which is 86%, way too high for Najee Harris, right? Way too high. And you need someone else to get the yards because Benny Snell and Kalen Ballage are not cutting it. And do we give another year to Anthony McFarland, who hasn't done anything? His total career yards 116. So, yeah, I want this offense to succeed. I want them to be better than number 30 in the run game. I just want to see someone else come in, and if it's a veteran leadership there or someone's been playing the NFL for 5 years, 6 years, that can help out the offense and, put a bit of spark under Benny Snell, Ballage, and Anthony McFarland. If the Steelers don't go to the free agent period or the free agency and bring in another, running back to help us out, and like I said, I don't know who that's going to be, but it needs to be someone to help out Najee Harris and drop those snap counts down. They could also go to the draft. And like I said, maybe, not the first pick. I think the first pick still might be defense with number 20. right now, or could even be a receiver. We have no one really in our receiver room too. It seems like at the moment the defense is taken care of, and the offense is we've built the O line a little bit, but now we have holes at running back and we have holes at receiver. So do the Steelers go into the draft in the second round, get a running back, and hopefully light a spark under Benny Snell and Ballage to get their Steelers make something has to happen, right? I'm just still so frustrated with Benny Snell because he's always told us about Benny Snell football, and we haven't seen that. And Kalen Ballage, too, is a free agent, so we don't even know if we're going to sign him. He might be cut. The Steelers may also entertain the idea of, grabbing a running back in the draft, too, at the 52nd pick. We just don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know about this team is we need to improve the running game 100%. It doesn't matter who you bring in as quarterback. If it is Rudolph or Trubisky starting at number 1, or Haskins, if it's a three-way dance, right? We need to improve this offense. Need to improve the running game because it is sitting at 30, and that is just not the Steel way. That is no way throughout the years that I've been watching. It is not the Steel mentality that the Steelers that I love from the run game, from Bettis to the flip side on defense like Troy and Farrier smashing heads. All right, guys. So, hey, guys, if you guys enjoy this content and you like the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, my name is Mark, and I had a lot of fun today, man. I had a good time hanging out with you guys. It was awesome. We're on the push for, I think it's 400 subs. So if you guys enjoy the content, hit that sub and click that like, do all that fun stuff. But yeah, as always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.